3. That is not a mistake.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So on pace for 100+ tonight out of the T-Wolves. And you can bet they'll empty their bench earlier than 100 points, but a spectacle.
Well, that's what it was the other night against Snohomish. They, I think at the end of the first, it was like 24-9 or some kind of crazy thing, and then all of a sudden you started seeing in the third when they were up by over 40 and started having the running clock. All of a sudden the bench started emptying. And
the Timberwolves have Lake Stevens at Lake Stevens on Tuesday, and then they have a home game against Mount Vernon on Friday. Both teams are very much down teams in the north. Nothing against the Vikings, but Lake Stevens is in a rebuilding year. They are really struggling right now up north. And then pretty much the most anticipated game left in the North Division for the Timberwolves is the January 21st game at Arlington. The Eagles ranked 9th in the state, the only other Wesco team in the state ranked besides the Jackson Timberwolves. And that will be a game you're going to want to see. If you can't get to the gym, you're going to want to listen to it. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure someone will have it on if SPN does not. There's the long 3 on the way. No good. Back irons there with the rebound. He'll bounce it in underneath. It's Ozuna, and he'll put it up. Blake Ozuna, the senior, at 6'3", gets on the board, and the balanced scoring continues for the T-Wolves. And another turnover. And there, a blocking foul against Tyler Sharp. Elicits a few cat calls from the the Bearcats side of things.
Yeah, we're seeing they're already in the bench.
They're deep, and they're scoring still.
Yep,
I mean, that's right. I wouldn't say deep, but they're at least through the starting 5.
Well, 10 seniors, right?
And they will play Marcus Blake to the free throw line. Hits the free throw. Yeah, we're through the first run of the intra-divisional games. Timberwolves and the Monroe Bearcats have played each team in their division now once. As Blake hits the second free throw, he's got 4. And now we're just underway through our first and only trip of intra-division games. Only, of course, one team until next year. Next year breaks a whole another set of circumstances with the realignment, the reclassification. And we'll get to that in a minute. Here's the right hand, the shot. No good by Tyler Sharp. He's fouled out on the floor. And that'll go against Marcus Blake. That'll be bonus time for both teams now the rest of the way. 1-on-1 and double bonus, of course, once either team gets to 10. And Sharp hits another free throw. He is 3 for 3 tonight, awaiting the 4th. 37-14, second quarter, 7:06 here at the home of the Timberwolves, the Den. A very, very tough place to play basketball if you're an opponent. And the Bearcats finding out how comfortable the shooters are for Jackson right out of the gate. Shoot. Kingma, 3 threes within the first 2 minutes. Was 3 or 5 for 5 from downtown before he even missed a shot. And now being a little more patient, Zaire with a long 18-footer, no good. Good block out underneath by Spahman. Yet he stepped on the end line just as he got control, and that will go back to the Timberwolves with 6:38 to go here, second quarter, 37-14 your score. Blake will set the offense now. Soffer, and then back to Blake. Triple on the way, no good. And Zaire with another offensive rebound. That's his second now in the possession. And he can flush him. We've already seen a Jason Todd dunk. Brian Zaire gets clear. He can throw it home with some authority also. And there's a foul underneath on the floor. So you've got acrobatics, you've got athleticism, you've got shooters.
You got a little bit of everything.
There's no reason this team can't go very, very deep into the postseason. Of course, they went as deep as you possibly could last year, all the way to the title game in the State 4A tournament before losing to Curtis 60-56. And there is no question across the Jackson High School boys basketball minds what the goal is this year. And that's to bring home hardware that says number 1 on it. Missed the free throw. And almost another turnover. Heading into the lane with a left hand, Brandon Gunderson. He likes that left-hand side. He's not afraid to be over there. Big body, 6'1", a senior. He has to play like he's about 6'5", and then lost the handles right there. Now we'll try him with that left hand. Spins in against the double team. He'll give it up to Shelfout, who walks with a basketball. Another turnover. And possessions are so hard to come by and so important against a good team like the Timberwolves. You can't freely give them away. And the Bearcats have struggled a bit in the turnover department. We'll see if they can perhaps buckle down just a little bit here in the later stages of this one. 3 on the way, Blake. He pulls the trigger and he nails the 3. 7 points for Marcus Blake, and the senior, one of the lone starters still on the floor for the Timberwolves, though Jason Tide will check back in here at the next whistle. Ozuna with the rebound. Here comes Blake. Kick out, 3 on the way. Soffer thought he had a lot of room. And now the long skip pass trying to break the press. Heading to the rack is Sharp, no good. Ran into a bunch of trees, a lot of tall lumber underneath. Here's Zaire. He has it blocked out of bounds and it last touched his knee. Holden Roberts in for the first time for the Timberwolves, 6'5" senior. Now we mentioned Todd already as he checks back in. First year coach Tyson Horner has his work cut out for him. Adjusting at halftime, 4:52 away from that mark now on STSPN.com. And a reaching foul out front will send a Bearcat to the line, Tyler Sharp. Marcus Blake is second personal foul, the 8th on the team tonight. Sharp can score the basketball. And right back up after the missed one-on-one. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Shelfout was able to get right in there with that offensive board. Averages 13 points a game, and you can certainly see why. He is attacking at every chance he can get, although I think a bit stymied by the defense, a very suffocating man-to-man defense that this Jackson Timberwolves team employs. And Steve Johnson didn't like the breakdown, I think, there on that last possession on the offensive glass. He wants to talk things over. He's not going to allow his team right now to play anything less than what they're capable of, and it's tough to have a timeout like that when you're up by 24 points early on in a ball game, but that's a very wise thing to do, to try to keep your team in it and keep the pace elevated, the energy elevated. And he'll do that in some teaching moments like that with the timeout. There's a long shot. It's inside the arc by Ozuna. And they say only a 2. That'll make it 42-16. He was well inside the arc. Perhaps a good 2 feet inside. I don't know why there was a question. It almost looked like Sharp there walk with a basketball. We'll see if the Bearcats can get any kind of half-court offense started. Right now, they look dazed. The Bearcats just look stunned. The people aren't coming back to the ball, and they're struggling just a little bit.
They have to keep playing basketball. I mean, that's the thing is that if they get caught up in watching the game just like everybody else, then it just makes it worse.
Will Gress and Kingma check back in for Jackson. Here is Shelfout. He stopped. And Will Gress right in his grill on defense. There's the entry pass, a little right hand flick up on the baby hook by Gunderson, no good. Wilgress with the rebound. Todd to Kingma. Kingman dribble drive, got into the traffic. Now the stop pop from the short corner, no good. A little Offensive tip by Soffer, and he's on the board with 2. So every Timberwolf, except for Roberts, who just entered the ball game, is on the score column now. Gunderson can't connect. Back the other way we go. Easy lay-in in transition by Connor Wildress. And the beatdown is now 30 points with 3:22 to go. Here's the little runner in the lane. Draw some body inside the paint, and Tyler Sharp will head to the free throw line. He's gotten 3 points now from the charity stripe. Wildress has 2 personal fouls. Nobody really in any foul trouble. Todd has 2, Blake with 2, Wildress with 2. And checking in for the first time, David Sepich, the junior, 6'5", for the Bearcats, and Witham comes in with him.
That was kind of a tongue twister.
What was that?
I said that was kind of a tongue twister there.
Yeah, how did you think I did?
I think you did.
Sharp at the stripe. 3 minutes to play, misses the free throw, and that time much better job on the offensive glass, or the defensive glass, by the T-Wolves. Todd hauling it in. Dribble drive now in. Soffer thought about getting the short corner jump shot off, but pulls it back. Now Kingma, little juke, little shake, little bake, misses that one. A long rebound, here comes Sharp. Tyler Sharp has a body on his right-hand side, didn't see it. Had Bingham running the lane, and now Todd gets up. Could he get up with the right? No, it's foul time. Todd, you could see by his body, wanted to go up and put that one down. And at the last moment withdrew and just tried to play control off the glass. Misses the shot, but will head to the line for the free throw, and that will be the 3rd personal foul against Tristan Witham for the Bearcats. So most likely he will sit down before the break here as Todd hits the free throw. Todd now into double digits with 10 points. And we still have about 3 minutes to go in the half. He's eight below his average, but on pace to break his average. That makes sense. Hits the free throw. He's now got 11. Chartrand wraps behind the back, being guarded heavily by Isaiah Patrick, who came into the game just at the break there. So I think every Timberwolf has come in. And a high fly and some acrobatics on the Monroe side. A little ooh and nod from the Monroe crowd on the block. That's why you keep playing the game.
Absolutely.
You can take that one out of the game tonight. Todd, stop, pop, draws air. Rebound with him. Chartrand. Good little guard. 5'7", not the biggest guy in the world, but he certainly hasn't turned the ball over much. There is a right-hand move along the baseline on that left-hand side. We'll send Shelf out to the line once again. Roberts with the personal foul. Shelf out 13 points a game. So far only 4 tonight, but he's having to really try to carry the load for the Bearcats. And he's aggressive. He's a good, aggressive athlete. Being guarded by good, aggressive athletes. It's just fun basketball to watch as he hits the free throw. Anytime he can get Riley Shelf out the basketball, I think the Bearcats are going to need to do it. Down underneath, Roberts backs in and is fouled. And that will be Witham's. I've got him for 4, and that's what the bench has. And Tyson Horner wants to leave him in. That is interesting. Of course, Witham coming off the bench. And he's drawn a tough number. I mean, he's had to try to guard Jason Todd in low, and that is going to be tough on anybody as Todd leaves the ball game along with Witham. Chances are we will not see Witham again this half. 49-18 with 2 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Jackson in control of this one early. And they've done it with some stifling man-to-man defense and taking advantage of some Monroe turnovers. There's the shot. Chartrand can't connect. Kavorka with the rebound. Nick Kavorka into the ballgame, the senior, 6'1". Kingma tries a little razzle-dazzle and gets into the key. And the Bearcat crowd not thrilled with the results. Spauman with the... they go with Chartrand. He's got 2 now. Kingma to the free throw line. Dan Kingma. Extremely tight group, this Jackson Timberwolves team. Monroe has Alex Johnson into the ball game now. Johnson, the junior, 5'6". Kingma connects on both free throws. So 15 points in a flurry to start the ball game for Dan Kingma. Has really been quiet since, although he spent some time sitting down on the bench, allowing some of his teammates to play. Come back in, that's his first 2 since about the first or second minute of the ball game. The guy came out and just shotgunned in 5 triples. Roberts' second personal foul as Chartrand heads to the free throw line. It's the first one. Monroe is at home versus Linwood on Tuesday. And then they go to Kamiak on Friday as Chartrand misses the second, splits the pair. So the chance to go through the South Division and a couple of the weaker teams in the South Division. Roberts right to the, Wait to the rack with an easy one on the left-hand side. And it's 53-19. Riley Waite, 6'6". I think he's listed as the biggest, he's the tallest guy on the Timberwolves team. There's a 3, Lapine connects. Samuel on the board, cuts a little bit into the lead, 53-22 now. Left-hand dribble, hesitation now. Here comes Kingma right into the middle of the paint, an easy bucket and the assist for Kingma. Roberts finishes the connection. And the lead 33 now, 55-22. Holding for the last shot are the Bearcats. Lapine gets into traffic, tries to throw one up, and why not? Right now, all you need is points, and you need them quickly.
Well, if they hit that 40-point mark, it'll be a running clock.
It's going to be a fast one.
It'll get you home there for popcorn early.
It will. 7 on the shot clock, 7 on the game clock. There win. Kingma. You can tell by the way he started left that he was going to stop and throw that one up, and it went in without any question. Dan Kingma finishes off the scoring in the first half for the Timberwolves, 58-22 at the break. You're listening to STSPN.com. Thanks for being along all evening. We've got more on the way. We'll be back in just a moment.